Hello there, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. If you're a return subscriber, thank you for always tuning in. Thank you so much. And if you're just joining me, you're welcome. Kindly please subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell, and like, comments below where you're watching this video from. Very quickly, I'll be showing you how you can make a lovely baggy pants, and I will be making it using this Ankara print, as you can see. So this is on fold. This will be the front line. So for a start, I'll go down by 3 inches for the elastic casing before taking the measurement. So I'll just outline the 3 inches on both sides. Remember, this is on fold. Why is because it's your round thigh measurement, the whole of the thigh measurement, and you now add extra 3 inches to it. So that's what I am having here. So after doing this, I'll outline that. Then I'll start taking the measurement from this very point here, from the 3 inches downwards. This will be the new waistline. Like I've always said on my previous tutorial on making pants, it's always high waist when you're making it to be elastic band. So this is like a baggy, you know how baggy is. So from the 3 inches, I'll go down by the hip measurements, dividing it into 4, and then I'll subtract half of an inch from it. So the hip line I'm working with is 44 inches. So I'll just outline the 11 inches. I'll divide it into 4. I'll outline the 11 inches, and then later on I will be subtracting half of an inch from it. So for the crush, I'll go down from the 11 inches by 2 inches. So this from the waistline, from the 3 inches, will be 13 inches long, which is the vertical measurement from your waist, from your upper waistline to the underneath your crush line. So that is what I am doing here. So you measure it from these 3 inches and not from the upper side. Remember, I said the 3 inches is just for the casing of the elastic band. So I hope you understand what I just said. If you don't understand, kindly go back and watch it again all over so you get a better understanding. So I'll outline this crush line. This is the crush line now. I will outline it now, and then for this I will subtract the half of an inch from the hip line. I said earlier I'll go in by half of an inch, which is 10.5 inches, which will be 42 inches. So that up the area of the hip line will be a bit fitted, not too boggle, and the rest of the trouser will now be slim. I hope you understand what I just did there. So now after doing that, the next thing I will do, I'll go to this waistline, the side waistline, which is the pocket area. I'll go in by 1 inches, and then I'll be connecting it downwards to meet up with the hip line, not the crush line, guys. So I'll connect it to the hip line. As you can see me doing, I'll outline it now using my pattern master. Just make sure whatever you're outlining from the upper waistline, you outline it, and then you end it up 1 inches to this 3 inches before, you know, outlining it downwards to your hip line. So from here now, I'll start by taking the hip measurement. Remember, I said the hip measurement is 11 inches, and I'll be outlining it from this side outline I just did. So from the 3 inches is where you will be taking all measurement from. So you can see the way I'm doing it. I will add extra inches to it. I'll add like 2 inches to 2.5 inches, depending on how much allowance you need. So the 1 inches from this side, I will transfer it to the center part, and then I will add extra 1 inches to it for sewing allowance, making it 2 inches for the side, as you can see. So I will now add extra 1 inches for the to join the crush line together, and then I will transfer this to the starting point of that 3 inches, as you can see. After outlining that, I will go to the hip line. I will measure exact measurement I have from that 1 inches on the side. So I will outline it, which is 13.5 inches. So from the hip side line, as you can see, so I'll be adding extra inches to it just to connect to this up later on. So this is just the actual measurement I'm just showing you here you need for it. So to get the crush line, you'll be adding 2.5 inches to this 13.5. So why I'm doing this is because I don't want it to be, I don't want you to misunderstand it from the 13.5 inches I outlined. So whatever you are getting from whatever you got from the hip line, you'll be adding 2.5 inches or 2 inches, depending on how free you want the underneath your crush line to be. So before adding this 1 inches, remember I said I'll be adding 1 inches to the hip line. So for you to get a better understanding, that is why I did the crush line firstly before adding the extra 1 inches. So you connect it now. From this 1 inches, you connect it like so using your free hand. You can use your free hand, you can also use your pattern master. So I'll just curve it like so, connecting it from the hip line to the crush depth. I hope you understand what I did there. So why I added the 1 inches to the hip line is for this upper side, so it is well aligned, it is not bent, you understand me? So that's just it about that. So I'll go down here now for the side closing. For the down part, I'll go in by 1 inches, and then I'll connect it from the crush line downwards to the closing. So whatever, however you want it to be wide. For the down, you can use 10 inches, you can use 20 inches. Remember, this is still on fold. You can use any inches of your kind. So whenever you, whatever you need, you just get it. So here I'll be using 15 inches wide. So as you can see from that 1 inches that I outlined, I'll use 15 inches wide. So I'll just connect it. So this is like the actual measurement from the thigh downwards um, to the down part, subtracting. I'm just subtracting 1 inches from the whole thigh measurement, which is going to be 15 inches. So I will start by cutting this out now, as you can see me doing. And you can see how easy that was. So I will cut this out now, and then from the upper side, which is the crush line, I'll go down by 1 inches. You can go down by half of an inch if you want, but I'll be going down by 1 inches, and then I'll connect it like so to the side seam, waistline, the side seam. So you just do it like a slant, connecting it like so, and then I'll cut that out. I hope you see and understand what I just did here. So afterwards, I'll take this away now and bring in the back panel. Here is the back panel, and the front panel is being placed on it with excess allowances. As you can see on the waistline side area, I'll go in, I'll go out by 1 inches, and then I'll connect it straight down like so to the hip line. We're just like doing like a dart manipulation kind of thing. And on this crush line, I'll go in by 1.5 of an inch. So on this upper side, remember we took out 1 inches, so I'll be transferring the 1 inches back to the back line, as you can see. So for the crush line, this is how you're gonna be doing it. Not really like a curvy shape, you just be, you know, extending your hand like so. It's kind of a bent shape, but not really curvy. You can see it the way I'm just using my pattern master to outline it. So that is how simple it is. So now I will still add 1 inches. Remember, because of the crush line, you'll be adding 1 inches to the downward side of the, crush line of the panel, which is the back panel. So but for the side seam is gonna be the same. From the hip line downwards, it's just going to be straight. The side seam is going to be the same, and the only difference is from the upper side to the hip line, which is 1 inch difference on slant, and also from the crush depth downwards to the closing is going to be a difference of 1 inch. I hope you understand what I am doing here. So if you don't understand, kindly go over it again so you get a better understanding. You can see the way it is now. So I'll start by cutting it out so it is well aligned. So you can see how it is: 1 inch here, 1 inch there, and 1.5 inches on the crush depth line. So it is that simple. I hope you understand now. So what I will do now is taking it to the sewing machine and come back and show you all how it is looking, so you can see how beautiful this is. So I've sewn it. If you If you don't already know how to sew a pant, you can go and watch previous of my videos on how to cut and sew a baggy or a pant, so you get a clue and better understanding on how far I've gone here. So what I did is just I sewed the two seam first, the side seam first with 1 inches. Remember, it's 1 inches I added for the sewing allowance. For both the back and the front side seam is what I'm talking about. Then after doing that, you take your front crush line, you sew it down to meet up with the front crush line downwards by 1 inches, and then you take your measuring tape like so. You start your measurement, your hip measurement from the actual front crush line to meet up with this other side, and then you outline it so you can see the way I sewed it. So you'll be cutting out the excess for the back crush line later on. So after doing that, and then after doing that, you take your measurement, which is half of an inch or 1 inch thereabouts from one center of the leg closing to meet up with the crush line across to meet up to the end of the other closing. So we just quickly go over this again. I said you take the side seam first, which is 1 inches for sewing allowance, and then you take your crush for the front and the back. You take your measurement from the crush line. You take every measurement, which is the hip line measurement, till you get to your under crush before closing it up at the center leg part. So now I'll be cutting out the excess for this for the back crush line, because this is where the ending of the measurement ends. So I'll cut this. I'll just trim out the excess from the back crush line. Just make sure whenever you are taking your measurement, you take your measurement from the front crush line. After joining the side seam together, you take all your hip measurement downwards, you divide it into two. After joining everything together, you divide it into two. So here is the pocket part. Now I'll be showing you. If you don't already know how to cut a pocket, I have a lot of tutorial on how to cut a pocket. You can see my hands, the way I place it on it, and it will definitely go around it like so, so you get enough accommodation for anything to be accommodated in your pocket. So now afterwards doing this, remember this line, which is a 3 inches earlier on, I'll fold it in like so. You make sure your whatever you're folding ends on that line. You can see it. This is the front. The front is a bit curvy while while the back is straight. So you'll be folding it in like so. You can see the way I'm folding it. This is just the end part. You sew it round, and then you leave a space whereby you can insert your elastic band, and then you close it up also. So from this line, you go down by 1 inches. This is where you'll be starting up your pocket. So you go down by 1 inches. Immediately you go down by 1 inches, you be placing your pocket here. You can see it. So this is just the simplest way to go about it. So this is the elastic casing. Now I'll be placing around it. So this is the your actual waistline elastic casing is what you need, and you had extra 2 inches for sewing allowance. So this will go around your hip when you're wearing it. You know it's an elastic band, so you just place it in like so. That is after stitching this band together, and then you outline it. You bring it out also on the other side, then you stitch it up all together, and you're good to go then before attaching your pocket. That will be all for today's tutorial. Thank you again for watching. Please like, comment below where you're watching this video from, and if there is anything you want me to do, kindly please comment also, and I will do well to respond to your request. And until I see you again in the next one, guys, bye.